Welcome to the drive-in movie.
Now play. Oh, okay.
Oh, we're doing the thing where we're doing it at the same time?
Thing, yeah.
Okay, wait. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the drive-in movie. Now playing Snow White. That was kind of cool. We didn't rehearse this at all.
That was our first time. Nope, first take.
There's not enough ice in my cup.
Well, you've had it for a minute now.
That's true. I went through a whole movie with my drink.
So we're trying out this brand new thing. Welcome to the Drive-In Movie Podcast.
Yeah, it's a brand new podcast where we go see a movie, and then immediately after we make a podcast about it in our car.
In the car. Because every time we go see a movie, we had a podcast before this.
Yep.
And every time we would go see a movie, we would have such great conversations about it immediately after the movie. And
in the car.
And then by the time we or even just on the phone, driving home.
Yeah.
Because I would call you after the movie on the drive home.
We would go do our actual podcast, and then...
We'd already talked about everything.
We already talked about so much. I already knew what you were going to say. You already knew what I was going to say.
And it had been days or weeks since we had actually seen the movie.
Yeah, we're very bad at consistency.
Right. So... we're trying something a little different.
Yeah, so we got our movie popcorn.
We got drinks.
We got... I have a drink.
Well, yeah.
You're going to steal my drink.
I might. And we just saw Disney's Snow White.
Snow White, yes, the live-action remake from the animated classic film that released December 21st, 1937.
Berkan has this thing with movie release dates where he weirdly knows when every movie was ever released.
But the important detail is I had to have seen the movie in theaters to know the date.
Mm-hmm. And you have to have seen the poster.
Right, yeah. I've seen the poster, I've seen the date, I'll remember. So clearly that's why I remember 1937.
And you know what, before seeing... And before seeing this movie... I actually rewatched the original last night on Disney+.
I'm proud of you for doing that because I hate the original movie. I do not like it.
I hadn't seen it in probably like 20 years. And it was boring.
Yeah, it doesn't have a story. Its characters are... Listen, here's the thing. Snow White, the animated Snow White movie is a classic example of people like really loving it and defending it. But it's like... Do you even remember the movie itself?
It was probably,
or are you just like obsessed with the idea of the animated movie?
It was probably revolutionary when it came out.
Yeah, it was the first like full-length animated feature film that Disney made.
Yeah.
Of course, revolutionary. It won an honorary Oscar. Not an Oscar for being good. It won an honorary Oscar.
Really? Yeah. That must have been before the whole animated movie genre was a thing.
Probably was.
Yeah.
But it probably would have won back then, but I think it was nominated for Best Original Score.
Uh-huh.
Fun fact.
Okay.
Fun fact, when they won the honorary Oscar, they got the Oscar, but it was like the special one-of-a-kind Oscar. So it was like 1 and then 7 mini Oscars next to it.
Why? Because the dwarf.
The 7 dwarfs.
I'm so stupid.
You are so stupid.
Why 7 mini Oscars? You're telling me Snow White won 7 mini Oscars? That doesn't make any sense.
They have to give her 7 honorary awards? That's crazy.
Yeah. I did think... So before we get into the live-action one, rewatching the animated one, I did like how everything was musical. I know it's been a while since you've seen it, you said, but literally like every time she like sits down, there's like a little flute or like clarinet that goes doo-doo-doo, or she'll stand up and go doo-doo-doo, and it's like every movement has musical notes to it. And so it's like I can understand why it would win Best Score. However, as far as like the actual original songs go, dude, this movie made me realize how bad music used to be.
That's like, listen, people are going to hate you. This is episode 1 and you're already giving people reason to hate us.
Dude, I rewatched the original Snow White movie and God, every song I was like, this is ass. Except for like 2 or 3. I'm like, this is really the best that Walt Disney had.
It was his first crack at it, man.
And everyone's singing like that goat from Hoodwinked. You know, that did-I? And I get it. It's vibrato, but it's so much.
Yeah, it's a lot. I never was a fan of the original animated film. And I think Disney songs like hit their stride with the Sherman Brothers and like specifically like Mary Poppins. Like that's when like Disney musical songs really started to hit their stride.
Here's the thing. The good songs made it into this live action movie.
Yes, they only kept 3 of the original and then the rest are completely new.
What'd I say? Yep. There were 3 good songs from the original movie. And they kept those 3 songs. The rest of them, ass.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about Snow White?
Yeah.
All right. So we have this thing where we're not going to do just like 1 out of 10s. Specifically, how many Michaels out of 10 would you give it?
Gosh.
This is a bit we just started. I'm bringing it into this podcast.
For the record,
I want to keep this podcast.
For the record, I had nothing to do. It would be so vain if I was like, hey, Berkan.
How many Michaels?
That'd be like Oscar being like, you know what we should name the awards?
Wait, Who is Oscar? How do we know that's not what happened?
Who's Tony?
Who's Emmy?
Who's Golden Globe?
All right. How many Michaels would you give this movie out of 10?
On a good day, 2 Michaels.
2 Michaels?
On a good day.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It was pretty bad.
That's crazy.
That's a 4 out of 10.
No, that's a 2 out of 10.
Oh, we're doing out of 10 Michaels?
Yeah, 10 Michaels.
Oh, then 4 Michaels.
Okay, 4 Michaels.
I was thinking it like stars. I was thinking like 2 out of 5 stars.
Jeez, okay, that makes a little bit more sense because I knew I was going to be a little bit higher.
I'll give it 4 Michaels.
I give it like 6 Michaels.
Okay.
Maybe 6.5 Michaels.
So you're thinking it's more good than bad.
I am a lot more optimistic about this movie than you are.
Not just, I mean,
not just optimistic. I'm a lot more positive about this movie.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, okay, here's my thing.
Yeah.
I thought the visuals were great. I loved the costuming. Yeah. I love the scale of everything, the sets.
You could tell.
I really like the music.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the music. Fincher thought.
You could tell that they put hundreds of millions of dollars into it.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, money was all over the place.
Yeah.
But no, I like the visual sets. I like the costumes. I liked Rachel's voice.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Rachel's voice. And I thought the music, all of the music was really like catchy. There was not one song that I was like, ugh. Even the worst song in the movie, which was the Evil Queen's song.
The Evil Queen
That's
song.
The worst song in the movie.
Yep.
Even then I was like, this isn't bad. Like I've seen Disney do worse.
But they don't make good villain songs anymore. We were talking about this with Mufasa.
Yeah.
Where it's like
there's not like it definitely was not
the
a good
villain song in Mufasa was so bad. It ruins the entire villain's credibility. Like it like all of a sudden the villain does not seem evil, they just seem cringe.
Yeah, I can understand that. But even then, like, I didn't think the song was bad. And so that was enjoyable. I loved how different it was from the original. To me, this didn't feel like a shot-for-shot remake. It was completely different. And like I said, I do not like the original animated film. Yeah. I would never watch the animated film ever again, probably. Unless I have a daughter or son who really wants to watch it, I can't do it.
There were so many differences.
Yeah,
like,
so many.
The original movie, half of the movie is like the dwarves just being goofballs that has nothing to do with the plot. Like, they spend so much time just looking around their cottage for Snow White, who they haven't seen yet,
mm-hmm.
and like taking a bath.
Right.
There's so much screen time on them just taking a bath.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, can we get on with the plot, please?
All right, and then I think, like, with this movie, speaking of, like, the plot, I felt like they did an actual job of making it a real plot and a real storyline, filling in holes, using the characters of as actual pieces to complete this story. So I like the thing I don't like about it, which is my complaint with pretty much all live-action remakes, and even my complaint with Invincible, the Amazon Prime TV show,
mm-hmm.
is that because I already know so well what's going to happen.
Yep.
Invincible, by the way, one of the greatest TV shows of all time, in my opinion. But I don't have I'm not on the edge of my seat. I'm not like sweating. I have no anxiety because I've read the comics 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Snow White 1,000 times. I've heard the story 1,000 times. So there's no like wonder or question of or mystery of like what's going to happen. Like, even though it's different, the bones of it are still the same.
Like, there's really not a way that we could spoil it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you know what's going to happen.
Exactly. So it's like, well, I thought it was like an entertaining movie. I thought it was fun. I thought kids are going to really enjoy it. Yeah, like it had, of course, entertainment value.
I can understand kids enjoying it. Like, watching it, I was like, I don't think I'm the right audience for this.
Yeah, and I think I think kids are going to resonate with this version way more than the animated movie.
Yeah, well, today's kids definitely, but it's, I mean, like, you know, if you, I think animation is kind of going out the window. You know what I mean? Like, because now they're doing all these live action remakes of movies. Like, before, what kids had Aladdin and Snow White and Beauty and the Beast and et cetera, et cetera. Nowadays, we're showing the kids the live action versions of these movies.
Right.
So it's like, I do think that it would probably resonate with today's children more because they're used to that kind of thing.
But anyway, so that's why I think I can't give it any higher than a 6, maybe a 6.5 out of 10 because
I'm surprised you were entertained because there was most of the movie I was just thinking should I just close my eyes or or should I just walk out of the theater? Like, I've never left a movie before, and it wasn't because I was upset or mad, but I was I'm just not digging it.
Yeah, it just wasn't for you, and that's fine. Look, I don't like I said, I don't think it's necessarily for me either.
Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to look at it as objectively as possible,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, this movie is fine. Like, it accomplishes everything it needs to. It looks fine. The only thing the dwarves, the 7 dwarves, I still can't it doesn't feel like there's life there,
uh-huh.
and a lot of the times, most of them feel the same, except Dopey had moments, obviously, where Dopey like kind of led the charge.
It's Dopey and Grumpy. Even in the original movie, it was like those are really like the two dwarves.
Yeah,
and then the other 5 dwarves are filler.
The same.
My problem is that they made Dopey depressed.
Yeah, Dopey was more depressed than anything.
Dopey was not a silly, whimsy, happy character. Like, he was barely clumsy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's true. They didn't really show. I mean, outside of a little bit at the beginning.
At the very beginning of his introduction, he like kind of trips or something. Yeah. And then it was like, and then Dopey's just.
Yeah, like, and then he has this whole moment where he's embarrassed, but it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault at all. And then he's like, I'm sad. Like,
I'm sad. I don't speak. I'm scared.
I don't want to feel bad for Dopey.
I don't know why with the popcorn in your mouth. That's so funny.
I don't want to watch a movie where a character named Dopey the Dwarf needs therapy. I'm sorry.
Also, something I didn't like about this movie, beyond the dwarfs, why they just take Flynn Rider from Tangled and put him in Snow White?
Because they didn't. Yeah, no, the exact character.
Like, it literally is Flynn Rider. Mm-hmm. They're like, I get the whole like the Prince thing never made sense.
Exactly,
it never made sense. I totally understand it. I know Rachel Zegler got a lot of heat for what she was saying about it, but like, I get like Lily James, Emma Watson. They said the same thing with Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast. Just to be clear, but I get what she was trying to say. Like, we're trying to like it. It makes no sense. The prince just doesn't appear out of thin air and just like, ooh, dead lady, let me give her a good smooch. Mm-hmm. Like, this had an actual story development. Totally fine with that. But so much like Flynn Rider.
I am really glad that they had a line in one of the songs that was like, and if I'm ever, like, asleep, promise you'll wake me up with a kiss. Because it's like, here we go.
All right, now he has motive.
Now we're establishing consent.
Yeah.
Because before, no
consent.
When you're watching the original movie, the prince has, like, 2 minutes of screen time total. He shows up at the very beginning, like, out of nowhere, and kind of surprises Snow White, and she runs away from him.
She's like, oh, man.
No, she's scared of him. And then he shows up at the very end when she's asleep and kisses her.
Listen, I know you were scared of me, but this kiss is going to be the best thing. This screams like frat, like douche guy who can't get the hint.
No, seriously. So they needed to make several changes to this movie, and they did, right? Yeah. Still, I wasn't entertained by it.
What other problems did you have with it? Was it just like you just didn't feel like it was for you?
I thought that everyone was acting as if it was like a children's musical theater like stage production. Everyone was really overacting. The writing was like super cheesy and corny. What I said to your wife after we saw the movie, because you and I didn't want to talk about it so that we could talk about it here for the first time. What I said to your wife was, I felt like it was like a Disneyland production. Like, I felt like I was watching sort of like this like weird recreation that was kind of along the lines of Snow White at Disneyland. Because
yeah, I could see that.
You know,
they're definitely like, that was my problem with actually the Evil Queen song, was that her movements were so funky and awkward. It did feel like she was trying to move on a stage versus like everything was close up, so it almost like took her out of the frame. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. Just stay still.
Here's the thing. Canonically, too, in this movie, the queen's power comes from her being hot. Like, canonically, they're like...
They did cast correctly.
They're like, she's so pretty, it gives her magic powers. Wait. What? And then they're like, and so she has a magic mirror whose sole purpose is to tell her if she's the prettiest girl in the world. Wait.
I did feel like...
She has a magic extra-dimensional mirror, and the only thing it can be used for is to say, am I pretty? And then it goes, yeah.
I'm glad you said it. They said something at the very beginning of the movie that was that felt like a setup for something that I thought I was going to really like. She gets her powers from being the prettiest of them all, the fairest of them all, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as she's not the fairest of them all, nothing really happens except she's jealous, right?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, how clever. As soon as she's not the fairest of them all, every time she hears that, she starts becoming the Wicked Witch.
Oh,
the evil
you
witch.
thought... Oh, okay.
I thought that would have been a cool change. Yeah. I was like, oh, look at that. There's meaning to the magic and power.
I thought at least, even if she didn't start turning into the witch, she would start losing her powers or something.
Yeah, like something had to happen. Like, there had to be a consequence.
Because she really didn't have motive for trying to kill Snow White unless something bad happens to her.
Snow White wasn't even trying to be the queen at first. She was just like, hey, maybe don't be an asshole to this person who just stole bread.
Yeah.
Like, don't kill him over bread. And then Evil Queen was like, "Oh, I gotta take care of Snow White."
Well, what happened was because of that, then she went to the mirror, and the mirror was like, "Actually, your Snow White's fairer than you now because she's beautiful inside now."
That's true. That's true.
But the problem is that but the queen is still the queen, and she's still super. She's got second place.
Yeah.
She's almost the prettiest girl in the world.
Yeah, you're almost the prettiest girl in the world, and you're queen.
So if you're not going to lose your magic powers, if you're not going to lose your political powers, and you're still super hot.
And no one else would have known that you weren't the fairest of them all.
Yeah.
You could have literally lied to everybody. No one would have questioned it.
Yeah, seriously.
It would have been fine.
So she didn't really have a lot of motive.
No.
But all that said, I did like this version better than the original.
Yeah, and I think, and like I said, that is the sole purpose of the live action remakes, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
The live action remake is to build upon the original story, do everything you wish you could have done. Any other idea you had, maybe this is the time to try it, do something different, expand upon the story. And I do think there is a level of let me be honest. If I was I would not have any enjoyment watching the animated film as a kid just because the animation is 1937, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am one of those people who's the film's old. It's hard for me to look past it unless the story is really, really strong.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sorry, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what these movies are kind of made for. The kids who are listen, I respect the original. I respect the work from the original, but let me see this in a version I can enjoy.
Okay.
Right? I think that's the main purpose of these movies. It's not for us, like you said.
The production value definitely was great. You know what I mean? And they did actually have a plot.
Mm-hmm.
The original movie, like I said, half the movie was just the dwarves goofing around for no reason.
Right.
There actually was a plot. They fixed a lot of the problematic stuff, Yeah. Snow White before was super ditzy, and she was like, "Oh, I know, I'll clean for these dwarves, and then they'll let me stay with them." And so really what she's doing is she's just cooking and cleaning for them, versus in this version, she teaches the dwarves to cook and clean for themselves, essentially.
Yeah.
She's actually a leader in this version, and she gives consent in this version.
That's a big one.
So yeah. So they fixed all the problematic stuff.
Yeah.
And before she was called Snow White because she was the fairest of them all because she had skin as white as snow. And so now it's actually she's called Snow White because she was born in a snowstorm and she's pretty regardless of her skin color.
Yeah.
So I did like this version more. They did build on it and fix a lot of it. However, I still don't think that I'm the right audience.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I will say most live action remakes I don't really enjoy. And I don't think that most live action remakes are better than the original. So this one did accomplish that, and that I think is better than the original.
Yeah. You know what? I think we can agree with that.
Yep.
Now, speaking of live action remakes,
yeah,
should we talk about and rank the Disney live action remakes? I'm going to go first, okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to rank all of them. I'm just going to tell you which ones I think are the best and which ones I think are the worst.
Okay.
Okay? So best Disney live action remakes, Jungle Book is top tier. I think Jungle Book is so well done, and it was so ahead of its time, weirdly. And it really, that's another one, I always liked the Jungle Book. I love the live action remake of the Jungle Book.
Yes.
I love Beauty and the Beast. I loved Beauty and the Beast. I think a lot of people don't like it, and they don't like Emma Watson's Beauty and the Beast. I saw that movie 3 times in theaters. I'm also in love with Emma Watson, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and again, I felt like it gave me more of the characters that I wanted to see. Mm-hmm. Worst Disney live action remakes? Mulan is pretty bad. Mulan is pretty bad, and I still can't believe they decided not to have the music in the live action remake of Mulan. And I hate to say this, I cannot stand the live action Lion King movie.
I can't get past the singing animals. It just does not look right.
It doesn't bother me. It's just Lion King, I think I was so excited about it because of what Jon Favreau did with the Jungle Book. I was so excited to see what he does with the Lion King.
Yeah.
Just doesn't work. It didn't work at all.
I'm so glad that you went first because the only thing that I can really say about the live action movies is that, do I have some popcorn?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you went first because the only thing I can really say about the live action movies is that the only one that I've actually enjoyed is Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched that movie,
good.
That was the only one that I thought has a completely different vibe, builds on the original story, is actually entertaining,
adds a lot of weight to the characters and the moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it accomplishes what the live action I think is supposed to do. It's supposed to raise the stakes.
Right.
But if you just do the exact same and it kind of feels lifeless, then nothing's raised. You're just seeing a weird, almost feels AI generated.
No, yeah. There were several times during this movie, during Snow White, where I was like, this is a Snow White movie? Like, I don't even really know what I'm watching right now. Especially with the scenes with her and the prince.
Yeah. Not Prince, Bandit.
With the bandit.
With Jonathan.
With her and Jonathan.
A.K.A. Flynn Rider.
It was like a completely different story, except one of the characters is dressed in a Snow White costume.
Yeah.
You know? And so I did kind of think that we were losing. I'm glad with all the things that they changed, and I'm glad that it actually has like a plot and stuff, and characters are motivated more and what have you, right? But I do think that it was losing a lot of the original concept because it added so much. Which honestly, Snow White, very weak by itself. So is it really that bad if it loses the original concept? Probably not.
I wanna move on to some breaking Disney moves this week.
Okay.
Breaking Disney moves? Breaking Disney news.
Okay.
Pronunciation is key. Pixar made an announcement that we are getting a sequel to COCO, COCO 2, and it's releasing in 2029. Obviously, Disney is having a big COCO celebration in the sense of in 2027 and 8 or 2028, there's going to be a brand new COCO attraction at Disneyland. Now we're going to get the brand new movie. I think it's really exciting. It's 1 year less of waiting. So from when COCO released in 2018 to 2029, or 2017 to 2029, that's 12 years. We waited 13 years in between Finding Nemo and Finding Dory.
Yeah.
So it's weird to think about it that way, because I remember when Finding Dory released, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, every time Pixar did like a sequel, it had been so long before the last movie. Even between Toy Story movies, they would wait like 10 years.
Yeah, forever.
Except Toy Story 1 and 2, I think, probably came out pretty close between each other.
Maybe it was like 5 years?
But then there was like probably 10 years between that and Toy Story 3, and then probably another 10 between 4. I don't know off the top of my head.
But when you and I talked about like Pixar movies, like our favorite Pixar movies, correct me if I'm wrong, Coco's your favorite?
COCO is my favorite.
So how do you feel about COCO 2?
I honestly don't know, because it could either be great or it could sort of tarnish the COCO legacy. A lot of times, I don't think a movie needs a sequel. For example, we just saw Mickey 17 recently.
Right.
One of the only movies I've given a 10 out of 10 for. 10 Michaels.
10 Michaels, yep.
One of the only movies I've ever thought was almost a perfect movie. Where I thought, I don't think there's anything that I would have changed about that. I don't think it needs a sequel. You know what I mean? I don't want a Mickey 17 2.
Yeah, I can get that.
So,
can I tell you what I think the COCO sequel would be?
Yeah.
That's honestly very predictable. I hope I'm wrong. I guarantee you the COCO sequel is that there's going to be some like magical force that's going to try to wipe out the
whole like underworld,
the whole like underworld, whatever it's called.
What do they call it? Yeah.
The life after that. They're going to try to wipe them all out, so all the spirits are forgotten.
Wow.
I guarantee you that's going to be the plot of the movie. Something that makes Miguel go back. Because you're right. I don't know what else.
I mean, they got to go back.
Yeah, he's got to go back. I don't know what else.
Maybe he'll take somebody else to go back.
Could take somebody else to go back.
Yeah.
Or maybe he takes someone else. Maybe that's how it's set up. Maybe he takes someone else who is like, oh, I just really like lost. I miss my family.
Yeah.
And he takes him back, and then that person ends up being the bad guy. And it's like, aha, just kidding. I want everyone to feel lonely and alone.
So when is COCO 2 coming out?
2029.
Oh,
so Disney has time to listen to this episode, and then
they might not even have like a script or a story or anything.
No,
yet.
They may not. Oh no, I'm sure they do, because the animation takes a long time.
Okay, so you think that they've already gotten everything written out, and then they're going to start voice acting soon?
Yeah. So
and
here's
then
the thing.
Animate for the next 4 years.
Toy Story 3 comes out in 2026. It's already done.
Toy Story 5.
Toy Story 5. You're right. Sorry. Toy Story 5 comes out in 2026. It's already done.
Well, then why are they waiting another year?
Well, you're not going to release multiple Pixar movies in 1 year.
Okay.
That's kind of the formula right now.
When's Incredibles 3 coming out?
I believe Incredibles 3 will come. So here's the Pixar release schedule. We have Elio this year, Toy Story 5 next year. 2027, we have a movie called Hopper. I believe Incredibles 3 will be 2028. It's probably going to break the cycle of sequel, original, to where we'll get sequel. Otherwise, there's a chance that maybe Incredibles 3 doesn't come out till like 2031.
Wow.
Who knows? You know,
that's crazy to announce it that early though. If
I'm sure
waiting until 2031.
I'm sure it'll be like 2028.
Okay.
But here's why I'm okay with the sequel. Also, there's not a studio I trust more with sequels than Pixar.
Okay.
Because think about it, like, has there really been a bad Pixar sequel?
No, I don't.
Toy Story 2, great. Toy Story 3, fantastic. Toy Story 4, I think the only reason people don't like Toy Story 4 is because Toy Story 3 is so good, and they wish that was it.
That is my beef with the Toy Story sequels, is that there are so many of them, and a lot of them they kind of have similar themes. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it 10 more times in the future. Every single Toy Story movie, it ends with like them being like, "Wow, this is it, goodbye forever," and then they
run it back.
No, yeah, and then there's another one.
Yeah.
So it's like them announcing Toy Story 4 completely diminishes the whole conclusion of Toy Story 3 with saying goodbye to Andy.
Yeah.
And then even then, at the end of Toy Story 4, they said goodbye to Woody. There was a whole this conclusion where Woody's now a lost toy, and now they're completely scrapping that, and they're doing a Toy Story 5.
I bet they wouldn't do it again unless they have a really strong story. But to continue my point, though, right, with Incredibles 2, good sequel, right? Monsters University, I really liked Monsters University. I think people don't like it. I think it's really good.
I've seen it once in theaters.
It's kind of more of a prequel.
I thought it was fine. Yeah,
I like Monsters University. Finding Dory, also liked Finding Dory. Yeah. You know, like, I liked the sequels. Inside Out 2, really enjoyed Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 was pretty much a direct, like, beat-for-beat remake of the first Inside Out.
I haven't seen it.
And I still enjoyed it. You should watch it. It's really good.
It got $1 billion. So.
It got $1 billion. It was the highest-grossing animated film of all time.
It was?
It was. It was dethroned this year.
Okay.
There's a movie that came from China that I cannot remember the name of it. It's like NEZ something.
I haven't heard
And it's a sequel for a movie. And it's supposedly one of the like greatest movies ever. I talked with the Escape Pod boys. They were telling me about it, and they literally were like, "I'm pretty sure it's on Andrew's like it's his number one."
Wow,
which is a wild statement. So, we should probably watch it. Actually,
we should. You know what other animated movie I really want to watch? I really want to see The Boy and the Heron with Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Because since we saw Mickey 17 the other day, and I thought it was a perfect film, I also realized that I really like The Batman.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of my favorite movies too.
I think Robert Pattinson's just become one of your favorite actors.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, after seeing Mickey 17, I'm like, dang, maybe I just really appreciate Robert Pattinson's work. Maybe I should check out The Boy and the Heron.
What do you think of Twilight?
I mean, it's Twilight. It's fine. It came out when I was a middle school boy, and so I did the whole thing of like, Twilight sucks. I had never seen the movies, and I was like, Twilight sucks. I hate it. And then when I was in college, me and somebody watched it, right, the series, and I remember just thinking, yeah, they're fine. They're movies. Yeah,
it's fine.
Whatever. But now that I'm seeing other movies with Robert Pattinson in them, I'm realizing actually he's great.
Yeah.
And he didn't even like the Twilight movies.
No.
He would complain every chance he got about the Twilight movies.
Yeah, that's true.
So now that he's having some other roles to be able to strut his stuff, you know.
He's got some other things. I think he has a movie with Timothy Chalamet that was like this medieval times movie.
The King, I think it's called.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen it either. Yeah.
All right. I want to end things. I want to end our first episode of the Drive-In Movie Podcast with a game.
Right.
It's been a very Disney episode, so I figured why not see if I can test your Disney knowledge.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to read you lines from a Disney movie, and you have to tell me what Disney movie it's from.
All right.
It could be live action. It can be animated. It can be Pixar.
All right. Are these? Do you think I'm going to be able to get these?
I think you should be able to get most of them.
Okay.
You just have to think through 749 Disney movies.
Easy.
All right, the first one. Let's start easy. Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Oh God, jeez. I want to.
What could it be?
I want to say Luca, but I think I'm gonna go with Lilo and Stitch.
Ah, ding ding ding. All right, next
what?
one. Next one. By the way, I'm gonna get progressively faster.
Oh, okay.
So you got to think on your feet. Okay.
All
so
right.
next one. Some people are worth melting for.
Oh,
just
Frozen.
maybe not right the second. Yeah, Frozen. Got it. All right, next. All at once, everything looks different now that I see you.
Oh, Twilight.
Tangled. It's a Disney movie.
Tangled.
Thank you. Okay, what do you want me to do? The hula?
What do you want me to?
This is so easy.
The hula? Is this
Come
also?
on,
is
Michael.
this also Lilo and Stitch?
No. What other movie is there hula dancing in? There's only one.
Hula.
Oh my God! The Lion King. The Lion King, Timon and Pumbaa. It's a distraction with the hyenas.
Okay.
Ah,
I remember the scene now.
disgrace. All right, should I leave you in the backboard alone for a moment?
The backboard?
Should I leave you in the blackboard alone for a moment?
The blackboard.
The blackboard.
Oh, okay. So,
There's a blackboard in the
blackboard.
scene.
Someone's teaching something to somebody.
Yes, smart people are very involved. There's discovery. There's research. What else could it be other than the obvious answer?
Why would you leave someone alone with the blackboard?
Michael, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9,
Okay, I'm trying to think of... Is it Atlantis?
6, no! 6. What other movie has research? 5, 4, 3,
is it about space?
2, 1. It's Tarzan. It is Tarzan. Next.
Oh, okay.
Wow, is my hair out?
Is my hair out?
Is my hair out? This is
not
so
Tangled?
easy. No, this is so easy.
What other movie is about hair?
What do you blow out?
What do you blow out?
Yes.
Oh, it's Hades. It's
Yes.
Hades. It's from Hercules.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Well, I feel sheepish.
Is my hair out? Okay.
Well, I feel sheepish is next.
I feel sheepish. That's Genie.
Yeah, oh,
from
there you
Aladdin.
go. Boom, bingo. All right.
Okay,
Quit
how can I
telling
forget
everyone I'm dead.
Quit telling everyone. Oh, quit telling everyone I'm dead. I think it's an old person.
Okay, good guess.
Well, I think I can hear the line in my head.
Oh,
Quit
you're gonna be
telling
so
people I'm
off.
dead. No?
Yeah. What is it? Who is it? What movie is it?
Oh, I know this is not it. I
What
know
it?
this
Just
is
say
not
it.
it.
Just say it.
But I'm thinking of the old guy from The Emperor's New Groove.
No, it's
I
not.
know
It's Brother Bear.
Oh,
It's Brother Bear. All right. This one's actually so easy, but I feel like it's gonna trip you up.
Okay.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
Do you believe in miracles? It's not Soul.
It is so easy,
It's
Michael.
not Soul.
This is so easy,
Do you believe in miracles?
Michael.
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah. Give me a hint. Give me one clue.
I already given you a hint.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's how obvious it is.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
Michael.
Is someone wishing on a star?
It's in the freaking name. It's in the
Do
line.
you believe in miracles? Is it?
It's Miracle. It's from Miracle, the movie Miracle. You've never seen Miracle? You've never seen the movie about the iconic underdog win of the U.S. hockey team? Miracle?
I've never seen it.
Oh, I hate you. All
I've
right,
never
last
even
question.
heard of it.
Last question. Nothing is more important than our friendship.
You're just saying that. That's not even a movie quote. And I agree. True.
It's Monsters, Inc.
Okay, well, to be fair, that line could be from any movie. Every movie has friends in it. And every movie is kind of about friendship.
You should have known. Monsters, Inc. is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, I knew
You
that.
should have known.
But, okay, that line could have been from Toy Story, which is also one of your favorite movies of all time.
Just disgrace.
Whoa.
I'm so sad.
You're mad.
I'm so sad.
How many did I get? How many did I get right?
You know, I forgot to keep track. Let me open this back up.
Probably like 3.
Like,
Okay, well, I got one piece right here. Hold on.
you got one right
Okay,
there.
so that goes there.
This might take us a second.
And then this goes in the top corner here.
We may need to end the episode to figure this
Yeah,
out.
all right. Well, thanks for watching.
Well, thank you guys for watching episode 1 of the Drive-In Movie Podcast.
Be sure to subscribe.
Yes,
like.
subscribe. And by the way, we have a Patreon. So if you really dug this podcast, if you made it this far, honestly,
Right.
highly consider going to our Patreon page and supporting us.
And thank you so much.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, also, one last thing, we got to get the kinks out, Michael.
Oh.
They should follow us probably so they know
Follow
when
us?
new episodes come out.
Right, of course. Follow us on the obvious TikTok, Instagram,
YouTube.
subscribe on YouTube. But you can also follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes, please go listen to us on the traditional podcast platforms. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find the Drive-In Movie Podcast.
All right.
Do you even know our at?
At the Drive-In Movie Podcast.
So close. It's at the Drive-In Movie Pod.
Oh, okay.
Thank you guys so much.
This is the first episode.
You'll get it right eventually.
All right.
You'll figure it out.
All right, thanks for driving in, y'all.
Oh, that's so cute.
Isn't it?